Welcome to the Context Machine, episode number 719. I'm Bryan Chaffin.
And I'm Jeff Gamet. Bryan, are you aware that we have a website where people can check us out? I know. I said we have a website, Bryan. Contextmachine.io.
Oh, that's so interesting. Did you know that you can also use contextmachine.io to reach out to us?
Whoa. No.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Or you can find us on Threads at Context Machine Podcast or on Blue Sky at contextmachine.bsky.social.
Oh, nice. As long as we're just throwing out amazing facts. Here's another one for you, Bryan.
Yes.
We have a sponsor today. It's Framer.
'Tis the reason for the season. We'll be telling you more about them in the show.
We will, but
hold on. I need to get a drink.
Oh, what a coincidence, because I was about to tell people that I'm particularly proud of the merch that we've been making. And boy, that mug you have, Bryan.
It's good. It's a good looking mug, isn't it?
It's a really nice looking mug.
I think did you know that people can order a mug, one of these mugs, for themselves? And if you're not watching us on YouTube, which you should be, but if you're not watching us on YouTube, I'm holding up a Context Machine mug.
Yes, Bryan is holding one up. By the way, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at MacStock conference in a week and a half, because I know there are several people that are going to be there wearing our Context Machine shirts.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you too.
By the way, if you want to get a hold of this stuff yourself, just go to contextmachine.io and click the merch thing at the top of the page.
Right. And
simple as that.
I don't want to spoil. I don't want to mix the messages. But I'm telling you for the very first time right now that one of our articles in either this week's newsletter or next week's newsletter will be about your personal merch site.
Oh, that sounds super exciting. I can't wait to see what I have going on.
Yeah, we'll have a link in the show notes starting this week, right? Oh wait, I'm making the show notes. Yes, we'll have a link in the show notes to both merch shops. And Jeff's got some really fun stuff coming, and we've got some more fun stuff coming too. So yeah, check out our merch site.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So let's see. We have some AI-driven news. It seems like we've had a lot of AI-driven news recently.
We have, but it's not just us. It's the whole world. Yeah,
that's true. So basically, AI is forcing Apple's security hand. Is the sort of shortcut I made for this topic. So why don't you clue us in?
All right. So Apple had a bunch of security updates prepped and ready to go as part of the iOS 26.6 update
which isn't out yet.
Which isn't out yet. So presumably, like in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But they rolled out the security updates as we record. That would be a couple days ago on Monday, the 29th, right? I believe that's the date that it happened. Yeah.
Yes.
29th. So they rolled out the security updates independently of the 26.6 update. And they did that because they needed to get these security patches out right away, because we now have the whole thing where AI can be used to locate security flaws, but then also exploit those security flaws.
Yeah.
So Apple has, at least for now, changed how they're going to roll out those updates. I think this is not a one-off. I think moving forward, we're going to see a lot more of these extra point security updates rolling out, simply because we don't have the luxury of waiting for a bigger update
Yeah.
for security patches anymore, because all the people using AI tools for bad uses, they're not going to wait for an update. They're going to take advantage of the security flaws now.
Right. And this is the sort of dark side of of the benefit that you and I have discussed a couple of times, where software agents make it possible for coders to exponentially speed up their productivity and development times. Because it turns out that software agents can also exponentially speed up the development times and productivity of the bad guys too.
Yes. And one of the things that to me is kind of interesting about this is that the ability to use software AI tools to in the coding process and to help ferret out bugs and security issues before they become a problem. This is not new. This is something that we've seen at the enterprise level for a few years now, and it's it's incredibly valuable during the development process to help keep track of all of the branches and stuff in code and make sure all the pieces are fitting together the way they're supposed to, working in conjunction with the humans, and and then running all the tests that they need to aid in tracking down security flaws before something ships, because
Yeah.
it's easier to fix it then and less expensive than to go back and fix it later.
Yeah.
Um, so, but then the other side of that is that, yeah, there are people out there that are using these tools to hack into servers to find exploits in software. And well, if you're hacking into a server, unless you're finding configuration issues, you're essentially uh, using security flaws in software. Um, so this is something that I've seen and written about at the enterprise level previously, but now with the new tools that are out there and the fact that they're more public facing, this is something that is suddenly like in everyone's view, and they're like, "Holy crap, this is crazy!" And it's not going to go away.
Right. It's not going to go away. And so you know, just to get the obvious out of the way, it's good that Apple is changing its strategy and acknowledging the problem and the challenges, and they were very upfront. So Reuters was the instigator of this story. And basically Apple said, yeah, we're having to modify our typical practice of bundling up the security updates in major releases.
Yes. Okay. Now, here's something that stood out to me in this, which is that Apple, this over $1 trillion company, what, 3 trillion, 4 trillion? I've lost track.
Yeah, I'll get that for you.
Numbers that my brain can't conceive of. They are still nimble enough that they could change a set part of their production workflow to release these security patches early. That's pretty impressive. How many other companies that are working on the scale that Apple is would have been able to pivot as quickly as Apple did to roll out these security patches?
Yeah, I'm not going to give Apple too much credit here. I mean, this is absolutely a change they had to make. Everybody's
of course it is.
got
I'm
to
talking
make this
about
change.
the speed that they made the change.
I don't know. I mean, is it actually all that fast? I mean, I don't know.
I would say yes, it is. We're talking about a company that has a production workflow that has to coordinate on a massive scale, on a worldwide scale. And they were able to say, oh, this thing that we were going to release in a few weeks, Let's pull it out of the code that it was part of and bundle it so it can be distributed right now. That's actually a really big undertaking.
Mm,
It's
Apple's. I don't know, man. I'm not going to give.
I mean, they've got the resources. That's why they could do this.
Yes.
I think for a lot of other companies, it would have been a much more onerous process to unbundle that part and release it now instead of waiting a couple more weeks.
All right. Yeah. Okay. It's a $4.1 trillion company, by the way.
Yeah, I still can't conceive of that number.
No, it's a staggeringly large.
It's a pretend number.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is a pretend number. It's like, what we've always said is that Apple effectively has all the money.
Yeah. I mean, at this level, money doesn't even matter anymore because, they literally have all the money. They figuratively have all the money. They have transcended literal and figurative with the money.
Yeah, and there are other companies with similar. Apple isn't the only $4 trillion company. I think they're not currently the world's most valuable company, even, but they probably have more cash than all the other $4 trillion companies. I haven't researched that, but I'm pretty confident in that assessment.
I think you're probably right on that one.
Right. So anyway, it's good that Apple's making this change, and we as users need to be even more Johnny on the spot when it comes to installing these software updates. Right?
Yes.
And again, another constant refrain in our spiel is that we need to be there for those people that turn to us. The people that are listening to the show probably have other people who look to them for tech guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be explaining to them that, yes, you need to install those updates as soon as they come. And in some cases, you need to get those updates installed for them.
Yeah.
We all have to be Johnny on the spot. And I hate that we're being forced to do that, but hating it doesn't change the reality.
True. This is the world we live in now. And Bryan, our listeners and viewers, they're the heroes people are counting on. So, no pressure, everyone.
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to tell you about Framer.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I would love to hear about Framer. Yes, please.
All right. Framer is a pro website builder that's trusted by companies like Miro and Perplexity that helps creators, teams, and businesses ship production-ready sites faster than ever. With AI agents built directly into the canvas, teams can design pages, manage CMS content, write copy, add SEO, and audit for issues, all without leaving the tools where the real site lives. AI agents bring speed and scale. You bring taste, judgment, and control. Prompt, inspect, edit, and publish in one place at a whole new pace. Agents solve the gap between AI-generated ideas and production-ready website work. The agents work in the same place where the real site is designed, managed, and reviewed, and published. It lands on the canvas, stays editable, and can be published when the team is ready. So learn how you can get more out of your site from a Framer specialist, or get started building for free today at framer.com/TCM for 30% off a Framer Pro annual plan. That's framer.com/TCM for 30% off. Framer.com/TCM. Rules and restrictions may apply, and we appreciate them sponsoring us.
We do. Thank you, Framer.
Yeah, please check them out. All right, Jeff, our
Bryan.
next topic.
Mm-hmm.
is also AI driven,
Huh.
but
Who
from a
who'd
different
have thought?
direction. Apple hiked its prices fairly significantly because of memory shortages.
Yeah. And yeah, some of those price hikes really hurt. Um, yeah. Yeah, Apple, they absorbed the cost for as long as they could, but the prices have just been shooting up. And I saw a report that said that memory costs over the last 3 quarters have quadrupled.
Wow.
Yeah, so companies that the example, companies that were making electronic devices that needed like 8 gig of RAM. Their manufacturing cost was $32, and that was a year ago. And now they're faced with well, we have this reasonably priced product, but are we really going to be able to raise the price of it $300 to account for the cost of the memory that's been put into it?
Right. Yeah. And so, for one thing, this is probably going to be once again getting developers to be focused on being a little more efficient. Because,
Oh, that's so sweet how you think that.
well, I mean, um, follow the incentives, right? That's one of the topics, one of the themes of our show the last few weeks has been following
Mm-hmm.
the incentives.
Mm-hmm.
And companies absolutely have an incentive to get their engineers focused on being efficient. I mean, because the reality is that for years, for the I don't know, probably the last 20 years, I mean, maybe 25 years, the hardware has was escalating so fast that engineers didn't have to be efficient.
That's true.
And now we have a simple matter of cost possibly getting them to think about being efficient. So like when you think about the early days of computing, we talk about like there was the thing that Woz did. What did Woz did something.
He did lots of some things.
Well, he
Like he
did
figured out how to make the disk drive work, the floppy drive for the Apple. Uh, wi- like he kept figuring out how many chips can I take out
yeah,
and make this still work.
right. And it was the thing that he did for Steve for Atari, where he got the game to work in an X, like in with a minimal amount of chips,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, the point is that for a long time, software engineers had to work within the confines of the available hardware. But there was a point where hardware started expanding so fast that no one really needed to care about how much space their software was, how many resources their software were using in each system. And I would say that an entire generation, maybe two generations of engineers have grown up not needing to care. And now maybe the bottom line is going to force companies saying, wait, hold on, make that better, make that more efficient, use less memory.
I would love for you to be right, and yet I fear that you are wrong. Because the developers are developing for the hardware. Now, if memory doesn't increase in hardware, okay, that's the constraint they're working in. And I think for a very long time, the place where companies have been looking for efficiency with their software is in the development process more so than the end user experience. I think this is the reason why Electron became so popular, because it allowed for an efficiency on the developer side. You write once, deploy many, and the trade-off is that in some cases, end users had a potentially poor experience because the app isn't coded specifically for the platform, and I don't see the memory price limitations being the major driving factor for developers on the bigger scale. But for indie developers, yeah. But I think a lot of those developers have been all about, how can I make my app more efficient anyhow? Because they're still seeing what they're doing as an art versus, I just have to hit the next scrum point.
Yeah. So I would love it if any developers or anyone with more knowledge than us, which is quite a few people, would chime in.
Yes. And what I'm hoping is that everyone comes back and says, Jeff, you're being way too cynical about this, and Bryan has the more appropriate perspective.
And to be fair, that's probably the outcome.
Yeah. Okay, Bryan, you have to stop sending in your own responses from multiple email accounts.
Nuh-uh.
By the way, the two you sent in from my email accounts that you somehow managed to hack into. It's like, why is Jeff Gamet calling in or writing in and saying Jeff Gamet's an idiot?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It was weird.
But so let's talk about these actual price increases though, because some of these are pretty significant.
Yeah.
The MacBook Neo went from $599 starting price to $699. It's $100, which is like a 17%. MacBook Air. Go ahead.
I was expecting that Apple would absorb the Neo memory cost in other products and keep that price unchanged, because part of what makes that computer so enticing is the price. I mean, it's a whole package deal, but the price points, I mean, raising it $100, I think that psychologically that changes the Neo for a lot of people.
It does. MacBook Air, the entry level went from $1099 to $1299. That's a 18-19% increase. MacBook Pro, starting with 1 terabyte, went from $1699 to $1999, $300, and that is, I think, closer to 15%. Let's see here, 300.
Carry the one.
17.7%. Increase. iPad Air, the 128 gig model, which is like not enough, went from $599 to $749, $150 increase, which is 25% higher. 25% higher. iPad Pro with 256 gigs, again, not enough, especially for the Pro, went from $999 to $1199, which is right at 20%. HomePod and HomePod Mini, $299 to $349 for the HomePod, and $99 to $129 for the HomePod Mini. That HomePod Mini increase is like 30%.
Yep,
and only 17% for the HomePod. And then the big one, Apple TV from $129 to $199.
Yeah. When I saw that price increase, I was like, I don't have a 4K Apple TV. I still have an HD Apple TV, and even though I have a 4K television.
Stone Knives and Bearskins.
Right. But my Stone Knives and Bearskins are feeling pretty nice right now after seeing that price increase for the 4K Apple TV.
Yeah, it's 54% increase, by the way. So I'm not dinging Apple for these price increases. I'm just noting that they're freaking significant.
Yeah, and I would love to know the logic behind how much each product was increased, like Apple TV, especially.
Well, so I'm assuming that some of this is Apple wrapping up other various cost increases that they've been eating heretofore, especially in the age of Trump's idiot tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
And that, Apple has basically resisted raising its prices heretofore, and now the memory situation forced their hand, and they probably decided to go ahead and just take everything in one, take their medicine in one the spoonful. I don't know, whatever. There's a tortured metaphor in there somewhere.
Yeah. I'm very proud of you for like pushing through that metaphor.
Yeah.
Well
Thanks.
done.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. So, question. Do you see prices on Apple products coming back down after at some point in the future when the constraints on memory ease up?
Well, Apple has a long history of pricing its products according to its margins.
Mm-hmm.
And if their margins were to increase again, I would expect the prices to be further adjusted, and that meaning down. I don't think if memory prices, if enough memory production came online to satisfy demand, prices came down, magically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Apple would keep its higher prices, and just to make all the money. And don't, because for one thing, their competitors wouldn't, right? And the Apple is fairly insulated from competitive pricing by its ecosystem and everything that Apple has done to make its products a question of lifestyle rather than a performance or price, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
another topic that we have talked about ad infinitum for
Mm-hmm.
decades.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if like let's say that that the Apple TV, for instance, what competes with it these days? The Amazon Fire Stick,
Smart TVs. That's your real
yeah,
competition there.
right. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, Roku. I mean, for standalone devices, yeah, Google, they make something, Amazon makes something, Roku makes something, but the real competition is a smart TV.
Right. Okay. But in terms, because smart TVs can also run the Apple TV app.
Right. So you can buy a smart TV and the same, wow. Okay, the same money you could spend on an Apple TV, you could go to big box store, Costco, whatever, and buy a 4K television with Apple TV built in.
Right. So again, we're competing against Roku and Amazon's Fire Stick thingy and whatever the hell Google's doing. And if those all came down significantly, Apple's not going to leave its Apple TV at $199 when their component costs have radically decreased. I just don't see Apple doing that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I also don't see memory prices getting sorted out anytime soon.
No, they're not going to get sorted out anytime soon. I mean, we already know that there are companies that are working on being able to ramp up production, and
Yeah.
in many cases, that means new factories.
Right.
So we're talking
because
years.
we're following the incentives. they're encouraged to spend money ramping up production because prices are high. I mean, this is the way these things work.
Right. And then the problem that that I see going along with that doesn't bring prices back down is that when we have this increased capacity for memory production, that's not going to consumer devices. That's going to get gobbled up by the AI companies as well.
Yeah.
Because the way they're scaling, it's like a black hole that you just need to keep throwing components and money into to keep building it up.
Yeah. Losing money on every customer in the meanwhile.
Yeah, but they'll make it up in volume.
Yeah, making it up.
Okay, so here's my super fast take on prices coming back down. I think eventually we will hit an equilibrium where they can come down, and Apple and other device makers will lower their prices, but they will not go back down to the levels that we had before this price increase. Everything's just going to cost more, just not as much.
Well, okay, keep in mind that the AI bubble will probably burst.
Well, at some point it has to, because it's in an unsustainable cycle.
Right. And when it bursts, the AI companies will not be building data centers, and they will not be gobbling up all these components. So, I mean, and we're talking about probably a major crash at that point, a major economic crash. So anyway, we have a possible economic crash to look forward to bring prices back down. So yay.
Hey, this is one of the things I love about you, Bryan. You find that silver lining.
Yeah, glass half full. Glass willfully half full. It's probably gonna fill up again any time now.
I think the big takeaway here, Bryan, is that everything tastes better in a context machine mug.
Yes, even our tears.
Yeah.
Even our tears. All right. Well, I feel like that's our time to hit that.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That was this week's Context Machine. If you have anything to comment on, add or question, you can write us at podcast@contextmachine.io. I actually changed the script last week. I updated it. Our bandwidth is provided by CashFly. The bass was recorded by Dr. Boom just for us, just for this show. And just going to tell you one more time about our sponsor.
I am, because Framer is our sponsor. Thank you, Framer, for being our sponsor. Yes. Go check out the show notes. The link to get to them is there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And on that happy note, folks.
You updated the show notes and still screwed it up.